All right, guys, I'm back again, and I wanted to do an update on my homemade enlarger. I was using my homemade view camera, but a year ago I bought this Cinar bellows, and I wanted it as a backup because in case the DIY view camera that I made bellows failed or something, that I'd have a backup. But it's held up really good, so I don't really want to change the bellows on the view camera that I made. And on the other video, I was using the view camera that I made with this light box, this diffuser box, to slide in there, but I didn't like the fact that I had to mount it and remount it to take pictures. I wanted something stationary that wasn't going to move. That way it stayed aligned like permanently, and I just had to, probably check it like every now and then. And that way it's right beside my Intrepid one that's aligned to with the Omega column. And I'm using a Bessler, not Bessler, Durst column on this one that I got for really cheap. And now I have this enlarger set up, which I'm really happy with. I bought this Cinar bellows, and I wasn't gonna use it for a while. I was just sitting there for a year. Now I made good use of it. So let's see how this works. Basically, it's that light box that I made on the other one. I did a little bit of tweaking on the diffuser and the magnifier. I put 2 Fresnels in it to make a wider, that way the light spreads further, makes it more even. It was pretty even as it was, but I made it even more wide, so that it casts a really good image here. So it's using this wood mount that I made, and it's just mounted to the back there with just a couple washers and shims, and that's the adjustment that I have. I just loosen it and tighten it for focus, and then I can do critical focus using this one to get more sharp critical focus, a lot more accurate. Once I get it roughly in the ballpark right there and I get my image the way I need it, then I can do the critical focus with the column. And if I want to do bigger than 8x10, I can take the column and mount it right here and use this easel that I made from a picture frame. It's a 16x20 picture frame, and I have a black mask here so that I could do the panoramic 6x12s that I like to do for color. I don't really do color 4x5 sheets. I just do black and white sheets and paper negative sheets. And for the 6x9, I'll use the Intrepid, but I need an enlarger that can do 4x5 and 6x12, and that's what this is gonna be here permanently. So like, yeah, I'll mount the enlarger base right here, the column, project to the ground using that easel, and I can do my 4x5s and 6x12s now. And it's a more permanent setup here in my small little darkroom closet that I have here, and it works out pretty good. So yeah, I got my filter drawer here. I can use these Arista filters for the color film. Here's a test strip that I did the other day. Turned out really good, and now I can make a full-size sheet if I want. I did it with the other view camera setup, but now I got this one, so it's more permanent, it's sturdier, it's a little more, slightly more compact, not much. It's a lot bigger than the other one, but in reality, I bought the Omega enlarger, and I have that put away, and I bought the Durst enlarger in They are roughly about the same size as this, and those ones are only medium format and 35 millimeter. And this one that I made will do large format now. And here's my film holder, just 2 pieces of glass. And there's the negative that I used to make this a color negative. This is a Fuji Pro 400H negative. Let's set that down. But I can share the view camera, the homemade view camera's lens that I have, the Fujinon 150 millimeter lens in here, you know, with these picture frame mounts that work really pretty good. But I'm thinking maybe later along the line I'll get a dedicated enlarger lens, like 135 millimeter Fujinon, something like that. Nothing too serious, but sharp enough to make good prints. And yeah, I got my timer right here. It's a lot better setup than I had on the other video. I was mounting it right here and I was projecting right here because I was kind of in the process of, the number one reason I did that is because I knew I was going to need to project on the ground to make a big enough projection so that I can get the big print that I wanted. I can probably do bigger than a 16 by 20, but those are my standard sizes are going to be, these are my standard, the 3 standard sizes that I do is 16 by 20, 8 by 10, and 4 by 6. Sometimes I do 5 by 7s, but these 3 are my main standard sizes of darkroom prints that I do. On digital prints, that's probably the biggest I'll do is a 14, 8.5 by 14 inch print with my little Canon printer when I want some digital medium, which, you know, digital is awesome too. I like both of them, but this I do film primarily. I have a digital camera, but I do use it, but I use the film more. I just love the color palette that film does. In digital, you have to tweak it a little bit to get the color palette that I like, but pretty cool. So hope you enjoyed. This is a little longer than I wanted it to be, but I thought I would show you an update. If you watched that other video, you can see how I made this. And if you want to experiment with Fresnel lenses and diffusers, you can get the right amount of exposure you want. Oh, and I did update this. On the other video, I was using I said 5500, but it was a 5000K light bulb. But now I'm using a 6500K light bulb, which gave me a lot more exposure to get you know, into 20 seconds for this exposure at f11. Yeah, 20 seconds. And that lens is really sharp. I can get away with f8 if I wanted to and make a quicker exposure. But f11 is the optimal sharpness with that Fujinon lens. F8, it's sharp. F11, it's getting really sharp. F16, it's still really sharp. And F22 is the last end of that spectrum of sharpness with that Fujinon lens, because it goes all the way up to F64, and I don't start seeing diffraction until about F30, past F32, which I'm not going to ever make an enlargement at F32, but I will take pictures time to time at F32, and possibly, if I don't care about sharpness and just want that look of a wide depth of field, I could go up to F45, no problem, and it'll still make a good image. I think this one right here, actually, this one I shot with the view camera with the, I don't have the negative here right now, but it's a what do you call, 6 by 12. I had to crop a little bit to get to fit in there so I could have those borders on this 14-inch paper. and this one was shot at f32, and like everything. I can't get it. This is I'm using an iPhone, but to make this video, but everything is in focus, and it's sharp. And that was a 35mm, which looks pretty good. But yeah, sorry this video got long, but I just wanted to share with you guys out there. You know, I know my videos aren't very popular. I was more popular with my RC videos, but I don't really do RC stuff anymore. The cinematography was kind of my strong point, but I really love photography, and still photography is kind of my passion now. So yeah, well, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more. Maybe I'll do some in the field videos in the future, but for now I'm just trying to establish a good darkroom setup, and I'll share my darkroom where I print, or this is where I print, but a darkroom where I develop later. And I think I have one video about that, and then I'll show you where I another little section where I mount my prints. I got a little table with a cutting board and mounting equipment and bevel stuff. So cool. Well, thanks for watching. See you later, guys.